Hello everybody, welcome back to Scrappy Adam and welcome back to dive into Disney die cuts, which I've discovered is a little bit of a mouthful. So on the last video, the intro video, we went through my big box of Disney die cuts and sorted through them, had a bit of an organise and a chit chat, and added them all into these little CD wallets. So they're all organised now very approximately, like we've got journal bits, wordy bits, bingo cards, words, finishing touches, hearts, buildings, tags, frames, etc, etc, etc. I've also added in 4 sticker books which I had hanging around my place. So we've got the Simple Story, Say Cheese Main Street, the Echo Park, A Magical Place, Cartabella, Believe in Magic, and Echo Park, Remember the Magic. This one has had more used out of it. These are almost brand new with just a few taken out of them. This one's got a few used. And then this one I discovered in a drawer and I've not really used many of them. So I thought I'm going to add them in just to see if we can get them used. But the emphasis is still going to be on the die cuts. Of course, I've got some frames, and then I've also started a Heidi Swap storyline chapters, which is, I've called it Unlock the Magic of Disney, and it's going to be a book of Disney inspired lists. So it'll come into this series a little bit, and it'll also come into some creative listing which I'm going to do, which has been totally inspired by Lael Concar of Lael by Mail. I had a play the other day just while I was sat here, as I do. So we've started off our first one, so top 10 rides. So I just thought this is a great way to get some stickers and die cuts used, and I'll also use 12 by 12 stickers in this, so watch out for that if that is something that takes your fancy. I've started doing this. If I show you just very quickly, I've also started a traveller's notebook list, and I've discovered that it's great for getting just a little pop of creativity without having to think very much. And so that's something that I'm going to be working on, and I will do some videos on as well. But if the idea of that interests you, then take a look at Lael by Mail. She does live listing every Saturday, and it's something different, but I enjoy it. It's a nice burst of creativity. So I've had a play around and created a few embellishment clusters, which I thought I would just show you, and then we're going to create a couple on camera now. And yeah, just to use some of our die cuts up. So we've got this one where I've used one of those weird shaped phrases from Echo Park, a clip, a flare, we've got a film strip and lots of bits, and now we've got this big cluster. So that is ready to go on a page, ready made. I've used a bingo card for this one, added in a couple of staples, another flare and a big word, journal piece. So it's just layering up some pieces really. On this one we've got a journal piece and another flare and a clip. On this one I've glued a peg and then attached this little chipboard ticket to it and added in a couple of bits to the postcard. This one's very basic. We've basically got a word rectangle, added in a chipboard one to cover up the phrase that was there, and a heart. Voila, you've got yourself a little cluster there. And then this one is just a frame which I've added in little bits and a clip, and now we've got a cluster. So they're just like ready-made embellishments to go onto pages. Now I am by no means an expert when it comes to stuff like this. I haven't really done much when it comes to embellishment clusters. I know MK does a lot of this, and I've seen a few other people. So it's definitely not something that I am, as I say, a pro at. But I have found that it's another great way of just getting some creativity time in if you're not feeling particularly creative. So if you don't want to think about an actual scrapbook page or photos, like where you need to think a little bit more because obviously it's your photos, then doing something like this is a great way of just having a little time for you and getting a bit of creative juices flowing, and it's something that you can then use later down the line. and add to your page. So it's like got double effect, double result, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so my advice would be, my humble advice, because I am no pro, you want to start with a fairly large piece. So for this one, I'm going to start with this notebook piece. And it's a Simple Stories notebook piece with a list. So we've got pineapple work, churros, rides, characters, souvenirs, fireworks, photos. I like it, but I wouldn't necessarily use it like that. So rather than waste it, let's turn it into something else. I've then got this wordy bit that says my happy place, but I don't particularly like the shape of it. So I'm just simply going to cut this and make it an actual rectangle, which is something I have started doing with my Echo Park die cuts more and more. Especially, let me get a big one out. Ones like this. I don't know what it is. I'm just not a fan of these like bracket style. So I will just cut that out and make it a proper rectangle. So now we've got something that we can layer onto here. But we do want to layer and layer. So let's have a look at what we can do. So we've got another piece here, so I might add in this, but upside down. So of course we're going to add it to a page, so it doesn't matter if it is upside down, because you're not going to see it at the end of the day. It's going to be stuck to your page. And then I'm going to pop this about here. So start with a large piece and layer up from there. Think of it as a mini scrapbook page almost. You want to add extra detail, you want to add pops of colour and add little bits and bobs here and there. So I've got this frame that I've clearly used on another layout. So let's get this in and add another shape and another texture. So for this, I'm thinking, why don't we add, I don't want to make it too big. So we could add this there. So I'm going to cut that about there. So that I can then tuck this under there, and let's bring that down here. Let's have a look. See, told you I was no pro. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive there and a little bit of adhesive there. And then I'm going to bring this under here, like so. So we basically then just got a little bit of it showing at the bottom, like so. So we've got like a fancy little end bit there, and we've used one of our frame offcuts. And now it's a case of just looking through. So let's see if there is a wordy bit we'd like to use. So we've got my happy place there, but I wonder if we could bring in maybe best day ever. I've also brought in a bunch of flare and clips to my left. So we could see if there's anything there. We've got this camera jelly clip. That could work. Might be a bit big. Okay, we've got this castle clip, which is from Simple Stories, I think. So I'm going to pop that up there. And then we want some sort of icon, I think, rather than word. So let's see. What we could do is have a look at what circle bits we've got. So let's have a look at this yellow one, because we've got the yellow frame there. And then let's have a look at a heart. So you want to layer up. As I say, start with something large and just build your way up. Add different textures in, add in different elements. So we've got metal, we've got all that different stuff. Now this is technically a tag, but I don't want it to be a tag, so I'm just going to tuck the tag end in under there, so you're not actually going to see that it is a tag. I do apologise if you can hear dogs barking. They are off on one, and I don't know why. You could also add some foam to make it more 3D and dimensional. So now we've got that bit going on there. Let me just see if I can stick this bit down there. There we go. You could double heart it. I do like a double heart. So let's do that. And that's going to cover that bit, and it's also going to bring it off the page. So I think that's probably it for that one. And we've got ourselves a little embellishment cluster with various little details. So it's nothing, there's no rocket science here. I'm not reinventing the wheel or saying it's something new. It's just something else to consider in using up our stash. Because if you guys are anything like me, then you will have stuff you need to use. I do have quite a few tickets that I would like to use, so let's see if we can get a couple of them. So I've pulled out this is a cut apart one, and we're going to cover up that, and we're going to focus this one on being all about the tickets. So we've got a ticket there. I'm going to use a couple of foam dots on this red one, there and there. And we're going to bring that in there. So it's only going to be a relatively short video. I won't really do any more. If you guys would like to see more of anything like this, then please do let me know. But I appreciate this is something new to my channel, so I don't want to go on too much. Yeah, if it is something you'd like to see more of, I'm more than happy to do more videos. Just let me know. Okay, we're going to put one there as well. So now we've got a ticket cluster going on here as well. And we could add in another clip if you wanted to, or you could leave it without. I'm going to leave it without on this one. Then let's have a look. Let's bring in one of these. This is one in a shape that I'm not overly keen on. So it's got all these fancy schmancy bits. I'm going to keep those fancy schmancy bits on this one, and we're just going to change up the way it is. Okay, so I'm going to add in this big circle, and we're using all sorts of different manufacturers in doing this, because at the end of the day they all work together, because generally speaking they all use the same sort of colours, don't they? Then we've got this, so we could use something from here. It's a bit big. Let's bring in one of these. This is magic. So I'm going to pop that down here. Excuse me. And then I think we will bring in either a clip or a flare. I do love that these pieces mean that you can just go a bit out there with your dimension and bits. So you can use, I don't know whether you guys are the same, but I have quite a lot of little embellishments, shall we, that was a mouthful. Little embellishments, shall we say, that I built up, especially when I was new to scrapbooking and I needed all the things before I really discovered the main collections. So I've ended up with lots of bits and bobs. So it's a great way to get stuff like that used up. And now let's bring in a wordy strip. Let's see. This black one. So I'm going to just put some of this adhesive on there, add that onto our flare. And now we've got another little bit. So we've got dream, magical moments, magic, big smiles, lots of wordy bits, but we all know I'm a bit obsessed with wordy bits. If you wanted to and you wanted a bit more detail and a bit more going on, you could easily add that in. So you could add other things behind it and really take it to the next level. Let me see. So like so. Let's have a look. Does that work? No. I'm going to keep it like that. So now we've got lots of little bits and bobs going on now. So I hope that inspired a little bit. These are what we have created. So we've added a few more to it with you guys. But we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 little clusters going on, and they're just fun extra embellishments for all of your pages. And now I will simply add these into a CD wallet like I have done with the rest of my embellishments. And when we're creating layouts, which is what I will be moving on to with this series now, we can just pull out these, see if anything fits. And we've got some ready-made embellishments which are unique to our pages, because you can create pretty much whatever you want and add in different collections and different materials and different textures. So as I say, I hope you found it inspiring, and I hope you're able to create something with all of your embellishments, whether you are using Disney or theme park or travel or Christmas or zoos, whatever theme you go for. Just see what you've got, pull it all together, and then have a play and be a bit creative whilst creating something for your scrapbooking pages, because it is actually quite fun. I will see you again for another Disney project very, very soon, and for another video even sooner. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great week. I will see you soon. Bye for now.